rolling.
You might want to turn your camera off, Adam, for reasons of internet.
Yeah. What?
Your Facebook's camera's on.
Oh.
Just for internet reasons.
I didn't realise.
For a second there, Adam, you turned about 70. You were like, what?
What? Oh.
We were ready to go.
Yeah.
I am ready to go.
Hello everybody, welcome back to the Back Post Season 3. That's exciting, isn't it, boys?
3.
It's not that exciting, to be honest, because we.
I knew that would be the reaction of Josh.
I'm sure we've just finished Season 2, and then we made one video in the break that wasn't really to do with being a season. And we're back.
That's the way it is, isn't it? You know.
We haven't been away. So,
Can't
I'm
complain.
excited to be back. I haven't been anywhere. Probably haven't left my house since we made the last video, but... I'm happy
Welcome
to be
back, everyone. But yeah, no, I knew Josh's reaction would be something like that. We're back, Season 3 is here. We've got exciting things planned, kind of. But what we're going to do for this one, it's like we do with every episode one. It's got to be a preview predictions thing, hasn't it?
Well, yeah, no one does it, so we thought it'd be a bit unique. We're not going to go through every team. I know a lot of people, go through all 20 fucking teams, and then at the end of the season they see how close they were. But they sod that. We're going to talk about the big boys, the shit boys, and any little nuggets of information we want as well.
Yes, please, Daddy. Right, what team do we, out of our 3 teams, what teams do we want to start with, boys?
Can I start?
Of course you can, Josh.
With Chelsea.
Surprise, surprise.
No, I think I just want to make the quick point here. I'm not saying because of what Chelsea have done this window, Chelsea needs to go out and win the title. Winning the title is quite a difficult thing to do, especially when you've got Klopp's Liverpool and Pepsi in the mix, yeah?
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
However, your season has to be one of challenging for the title. Even if you finish 4th or 5th, but most of the season you're spending going, oh my God, Chelsea can do this. That has to happen, doesn't it? We can't. There's no free pass for Frank here. He keeps saying they're learning. You've learnt now. You've got Pulisic, Ziyech, Havertz, bloody everyone, Werner, everyone.
I completely agree, and most Chelsea fans agree with that. I think a lot of people are saying, they've got to win the title this season, and yeah, I'm happy that you started with that. To be fair, because that would have been a ridiculous thing to say just because we got some great signings.
Beat the greatest Liverpool side ever, Jay. Now,
exactly.
Do it.
What I mean? So, but yeah, no, 100%. There's no excuses. Lampard was absolutely backed. He got a lot of people he wanted. He got a lot of the best young talent out there in Europe. Of course, we've got a challenge. We've got to do something in some of the cups. We've got a challenge for that top spot. Like you said, if we don't win but we're challenged, that's absolutely fine. But yeah, no excuses this season. No excuses.
Also,
that's fucking exciting to me, to be honest. Sorry, just to be like, to be now expected to challenge with those really good teams, that says something about us, doesn't it?
Yeah, the only 2 things I will say, so Adam, you go first.
You're saying this, that you're going to be up there, but there is a lot of discussion that, obviously you bought all these fantastic players, don't get me wrong, but as a team, is it going to work? Are they all going to gel? Are they all going to play well together? So I think that is a big question to ask. Personally, I think they will, but a lot of people I know, talking outside the podcast, think it's not going to work. It's going to be like what happened with City first season. It doesn't really gel. So, I mean,
it's definitely, you bring so many players in at one time, it's going to be difficult, isn't it? But I know there's soft links already there, like, you've got Havertz and Werner who already know each other. You've got Ziyech come in that pre-season game and fitted right in straight away. People like Thiago Silva, he's a very massive professional. Like, I don't think he'll struggle too much, really. Yeah, it's going to take a bit of time. I think at the start of the season, it's going to take some time. This is why it's annoying that we haven't had a fucking pre-season. You know what I mean? Because this could have been happening already, and we're going to have to do this at the start of the season now, which will hinder us a little bit. But that none of us could do anything about that.
Yeah, the only thing I would say is that if you spent this amount of money on an attack that was already decent last season, I know you lost Willian because he wouldn't sign the contract, and but your attack wasn't really the problem, as everyone said. So if you've spent that amount of money on such a top-end, top-heavy team now, I'm not even going to have a go at him, but if Thiago Silva does find the pace of the Premier League difficult, because he's been playing in France for all his career almost, apart from AC Milan, if he does struggle, and I know that there's a rumour you're buying the French keeper Sarr, is it?
No, Mendy, the French keeper.
Mendy, sorry, I know that, but I know that's a thing. But if that doesn't come through, and even if Havertz has assisted to Ziyech and Ziyech has crossed it over to Werner, and oh my god, it's so beautiful. Still, let's pick a player. Shelby can decide to have a 30-yard pop, and it'll most likely beat Kepa. And it's just slightly strange that you haven't addressed. Like, your back four is still a thing that really confuses me. Is it going to be Silva and Zuma? Is Zuma the best bet? Are we really in a place where Zuma is your best bet? And I know he was the best. We've said he was the best centre back last season that you had, but still.
Yeah, no, definitely. That's the thing. Zuma's probably our best centre back. That being said, Christensen had a great Nations League, and hopefully he can find some form that he had before. We have a lot of centre backs. They've not been great this season, but you know what it is as well. Before we go on to the keeper thing. No one's got great centre-backs, really, have they? Every team, all three of our teams would like a centre-back.
Yeah.
A good centre-back.
I agree with that.
You know what I mean?
I'm actually relatively happy with that.
No, he's got Dyer and Alderweireld, do you know what I mean? Like, yeah, great. So, but you know what I mean?
I'm saying we have Alderweireld and Dyer and Sanchez. I think that's kind of all right.
It's better than what we've got, yeah. But all three of our clubs would be better off for a centre back.
I'd rather a fucking striker, Jay, because your club may be top heavy. We've got one man up front, and we've had one man up front for five seasons now.
But definitely. But I was going to say as well, like City, they needed a defender. They've went and got Ake, and they might get Koulibaly. You know what I mean? Like, centre back is probably like a very needed position right now, so that was a struggle for us. The keeper situation is very bizarre. Like you said, we've gone and got all these players and no keeper. But if Mendy comes in, that's good competition for Kepa, because then Kepa can kind of have more of a kick up the bum. Because I don't think we're going to sell him yet. I think he's got one more season to prove himself. I think that's what's going on at the club.
If we're looking back on Kepa now, and the fact that he did what he did in that Carabao Cup final, on top of the fact that we've now realised he's shit, it's a miracle he's still there. Like, if he did that and then last season had a David De Gea-esque, worldy player of the season, you'd be like, well, that'll always be a black mark against his name, but he's proved it. But to be there like, fuck off, I'm not coming off, lose the final, and then just turn to jelly, and everyone's still there like, well, we'll keep him. I don't know who would buy him, but
that's the thing, isn't it? Like, it's going to be hard to sell him now. So I think right now we have one more season to try and get out of him. Get Mendy in, who's a very good keeper who can really challenge him. Because let's face it, Caballero doesn't really challenge him. Frank played him, but it's only because he didn't want to play Kepa. So it's a tricky one, isn't it? That's obviously the worries going in for the season with Chelsea, of course.
Well, final worry about Chelsea, and then I will talk about how you think they're going to. Well, we've kind of said how we think they're going to do, but genuine concern is completely unbiased. Jay, how do you think? And I know it's a boring question, but how do you honestly think Tomori, Mount, Abraham, Callum, Hudson-Odoi are going to get on? Because the thing is, Chelsea proved that they cannot challenge with those players last season, these two teams. And I know they're going to improve, but still, if you're a manager, you don't turn to Hudson-Odoi, you turn to Ziyech, you don't turn to Tammy, you turn to Werner, you don't turn to Mount, you turn to Havertz.
Yeah, completely agree. Tomori is probably going to Everton, which is kind of sad.
On loan or to go?
On loan to Everton.
Of course it is. You're about to bloody extend Batshuayi's contract before loaning him out. What the fuck is wrong with your club? Just sell the boy.
He needs to go. Anyway, we're not talking about him. Mason Mount is one of our best players last season. I think he's still going to come in and play games because the season is so congested. We're going to be playing so much football. Ziyech, Havertz, Werner, they're not going to play every game. Do you know what I mean? They're not, because it'd be unrealistic and we don't want them to die. So, you know, players like Mount will have time to come in and prove that he's already proved himself. But people like Tammy will have time to come in and prove himself. Same with Callum Hudson-Odoi. So I think they're not completely banished from this club. They've got the spaces there. And you know, and I think, you know, we wouldn't be in the Champions League without them last season. So, no, I don't think they're bad. And Tammy came out with a good interview recently. He was like, it's Chelsea. I'm going to have to contest for my place. It shouldn't be as easy as getting in. Like, it's a big club. We need to contest for spaces. You know what I mean?
Fair play.
I was going to say,
That's a good mentality.
Do you not think Abraham is probably third in the pecking order at the moment? Because you got to remember, you got Giroud, who had a great back end of the season.
Yeah, he did. Yeah, it's weird. It's like very top heavy. I'm sure Josh would love to have this problem, but yeah, it's a weird one. But Tammy also had a great start to the season. It's a problem for Frank. It's a good problem to have, but it's a big problem who is where. Yeah. Giroud's come out and said he wants to play alongside Werner in that kind of like the way he does with France, you know what I mean? The way he plays alongside Griezmann and stuff. So who knows, that could be something we try. At least Frank isn't like Sarri where he's stuck to 4-3-3. He tries different things throughout the season. So only time will tell.
Okay, I'm bored of talking about Chelsea now. I think they'll finish second.
We don't need to talk about places until part 2.
Okay, sorry.
Right, let's. Well,
do you want to go, Adam, or should I?
Go on, I'll go.
Go on.
Because I know you're just going to talk for a while after this. I like to keep mine short and sweet, don't I? Going into the season.
You've got nothing to fucking talk about.
Well, yeah, that's a good point.
Van der Beek.
Going off talking about Chelsea, it's obvious that City, Liverpool and Chelsea have much more depth in the squad at the moment than us. I'd probably say they have. On paper, Chelsea have a better team. If they're going to work, I don't know. We still need big players if we're going to compete with them three. I think we still need a centre half, as we spoke about. But then again, who is there to buy unless you go for someone that, you know, for example, in the French league, we've been linked with a couple and I don't really know who they are, to be honest with you. So I think we need a centre half. We still need a winger, and I'd like a striker because it's all good Martial and Rashford competing up front, but we need that third person to compete. We need someone like Ighalo, just probably.
Is he still at the club, Ighalo, or is he gone now?
Well, technically, yeah, but I think he will probably end up going. I think he's here till January.
Oh, okay.
I think, doesn't Josh King want to join United? Wouldn't that be a good option to have?
Yes, right. So I've said this a few times. Are we not a better team than signing Brooks, than signing King, than signing all these?
I think that is a classic United thing to say. Like, what does that mean? But what does that like? If you were saying to Josh King, by the way, Rashford's a twat, you're starting every single game, you have a point, but everything in football's a balance. You can't go out and sign Werner because he would sit on the bench more at United as an example, and you have to say that's why Tottenham can't sign a striker, because anyone remotely good goes, oh, you want to sign me, and you go, yeah, have you still got Harry Kane? Yeah, well, I'm not going to play then, am I? Well, you might, because he'd probably die, but we can't guarantee that he'll die. And then strikers go, no, I'm going to go and play for Everton because I'll play football. Like, that's how it works. Like, Josh King was a good player for a number of seasons. The only issue you'd have there is they've just lost Wilson and Fraser and Ake. How many more players are Bournemouth willing to actually lose? But
I just think we can do better than that. You know, we got rid of
who? Give us a name.
We got rid of Josh King. You got to remember that, because he wasn't good enough.
You got rid of Pogba, mate.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Very true.
I just think we can do better than him. That's all I'm saying. Even if it is, someone for like we should have signed Rodriguez from, the guy that Leeds have bought.
Have you ever seen him do anything?
We should have signed him 3 seasons ago.
Rodrigo.
3 seasons
ago. He made me a very upset boy when Chelsea played Valencia and I went down to watch it.
It's just players like that I think we should be. I don't think the striker's the biggest problem. I think the biggest problem is the centre half. But it would just
you
nice
missed out
to see us bring some more players
heavily.
in.
You missed out heavily as well, missing out on Sancho. That's like a big blow, especially when you thought it was pretty much done.
Yeah, well, you still never know. I've always said this. I will never believe anything until I've seen it. So it still could happen. Most likely won't. But then if we don't get Sancho, we're going to have to go for someone else, I'm thinking, because at the moment James isn't really cutting it. Greenwood is still learning. He can't play every game, can he? So
And who will he even start the first few games? I don't know what view Southgate and Ollie and Pepino take on that.
So they're going to be disciplinary actions, but what it is, I'm not too sure. So basically, we need to sign some players if we want to compete with them 3 teams above us.
Yeah, fair enough. Oh yeah, like I think at the back end of last season, you guys were so strong, but it's because you was playing the same 11 every game, and that won't be realistic this season. So yeah. You definitely, Josh.
And that's why Van Dijk's a good signing. Just quickly.
Oh, sorry.
Of course, it's a great signing.
He will take a lot more. He doesn't. It means that if Pogba or Bruno are off, you don't have to play. Matt is probably finished, and you don't have to play these sort of average not United players. And I will admit that they're not United players. Your Freds and your. I know you love McTominay, but is he any better than Darren Fletcher? Probably not.
Yeah.
Okay, so Tottenham. I'm happy. I don't know if we'll finish top 4 because I'm terrified. I think it's kind of clear that those places will be occupied by Liverpool, City, and Chelsea, and then Arsenal, United, and Tottenham will scrap out for that 4th place. I'm actually more scared of Arsenal at the moment because they've actually signed a centre back that looks decent in Gabriel.
Yeah.
They've re-signed Ceballos on loan. Aubameyang looks like he's going to stay. Arteta kind of looks like he's energising them a little bit. I don't know if it can continue, but
yeah,
I fear Arsenal more than United at the moment. But which is Adam, that doesn't pay. That doesn't. I'm not saying that just to piss you off. I hate Arsenal more than I hate your team. But
the way you say, come on.
They've got firepower there, Arsenal, and they've got a bit more of a plan than United have.
They got Willian as well.
Arsenal. Yeah, anyway, we're not talking about that. All I'm going to say is that Tottenham have signed sensibly, and if you've watched the last all 6 All or Nothings now, Jay, have you? Or not the?
Yeah, I have.
You really, and I'm not just making excuses for last season. It wasn't good enough, but you have to remember that as long as we can just stay okay and rotate a little bit and bring in some players like Doherty and Højbjerg that can just solidify. Højbjerg's the new Wanyama, I'd like to think, in terms of just when he was good. He can just stop other people playing and take pressure off us. But you've got to remember, when we went into that run-in just before COVID, we had Kane out, we had Son out, we had Bergwijn out, Ali was out, Sissoko was out, Lloris was out. Tottenham were ravaged last season of injuries. At one point, our only attacking player was an injured Lamella who could only play 20 minutes, and Lucas Moura. So, as long as we can manage our season better and don't end up like that again, I think we're as good as an Arsenal and as a United. I do not think we're as good as those other 3 teams mentioned. But
yeah, and Mourinho is a very competent manager. A lot of people say he's done. I don't think he is. I think he's a good manager. He can do something there. He can start something there. But I think there is just maybe 1 or 2 more smart signings you need to make.
We need a backup striker, and then we need someone like a Josh King or a Callum Wilson that went to Newcastle, or just someone.
Well, you can have Josh King if you want.
Well, we'd take him, and he would genuinely guarantee us a few more points in the league than Kane will at some point pick up a knock. That will happen, and a natural number 9 would be excellent as a replacement for that. Just like your only natural number 9 is a Garlo, so I'm confused why you wouldn't want an upgrade. But anyway, all I'm saying is, that's a thing, and I think it's fine. We've made clever signings. We've made, in terms of who we need to strengthen, and it's now just about seeing if Tanganga can come through, and just hoping.
Watching that all or nothing. I love Tanganga in that. He's a right little lad, isn't he?
But I think the dream England scenario, Jay, is a few years down the line, tomorrow, Tanganga.
Oh mate, that is the dream.
Let's have it.
Shall we briefly mention City and Liverpool before we wrap this part up? I think City have done some good business. Ferran Torres, Ake, and Koulibaly pending.
Downgrades. I think Torres is definitely a downgrade on Sane. I don't see how he's not.
Yeah, he's not. He's not an upgrade for sure, but it's still a strong signing to add to the wealth of depth that they have.
Mm. And Liverpool haven't, apart from that right back, Liverpool haven't really done anything, have they? Which they don't need to. Mm-hmm. But remember the old. This is rehashed and boring. But remember the old Ferguson thing. As soon as he wins a title, fucking chop and change, get someone new in, compete.
Yeah, it might be old and boring, but it's exactly what made them good as they were. His mentality, you know what I mean. And Liverpool, it seems to me like they didn't win the Champions League, then they had that fight to go and win it. They came so close to the Premier League, then they had that fight to win it. Do they have anything to fight for now? They won the Prem and they needed that for so long, and now it doesn't look to me like they've got that urgency to do anything. Like the Community Shield was a dreadful game. I don't know if you've watched it. It was just boring and unenthusiastic, much like England. They haven't signed anyone substantial. They won't spend 30 million on Thiago, who would be an incredible signing. I think.
And also, they were the front runners and could have easily beaten you if they committed to Werner. And if they sign Werner and Thiago, you're looking at that squad and you're going, holy goddamn fuck, leave me alone. Yeah,
but they didn't, and they've slept on that. They slept on the Werner deal. Klopp was like, maybe the money, will he get first team? We just went and snatched him. Thiago, incredible player. 30 mil is quite good for him, I think, and they're not paying it. They're saying no to 30 mil.
That's Sissoko money, that
it is, and it's not Sissoko. So I think I don't know what's going on there. I think they've lost it a little bit.
That at that state we're looking, and I've said it once and I'll say it again. Remember what happened at Dortmund. He loved his squad. He kept with his squad. They were together. He strengthened tiny amounts throughout his time. They won a league. They got to a Champions League final. They were brilliant. And then one season, they just sat in I think it was 16th for most of the season.
Yeah, exactly. Let's hope that happens there, boys.
So
that would be amazing.
Right, I think we're done for part one, ain't we? We've spoke about most of the teams. I mean, you've still got likes of Everton signing James Rodriguez, which is mad, but they're still Everton. They're not going to break top six.
I'll talk about that one, about us playing them.
Yeah, exactly. So I think we're good for part two. Next part, we're going to actually give predictions at the table.
Right, hello, it's the Back Post, and we're just a quick one here, because we're going to do a Fantasy Premier League. We did one last year, but 6 people were in it, just some mates. But we're gonna open it up to you, and you, and you. And you can be against me, who literally have built my team not realising that United and City didn't play in the first weekend. So there's a good chance to win, and if you do win, what will they win, boys?
They will win crisp high five from all of it. No, they will win an actual football tap, an actual physical football tap, not a shitty one.
We'll buy you a football shirt.
We're gonna buy you a
won't be
football
fake.
shirt.
I mean, it might be shit. We're not spending 70 quid on one, but we'll go to Classic Football Shirts. We'll find a really nice shirt for you.
We've not decided yet, but
Sounds
it
fair.
could be Carlisle. It could be Napoli. You never know. That's the fun. So
that is the fun. That is actually the fun. So
I'm guessing the code's going to be.
I'm going to guarantee that it won't be a Carlisle shirt, just to put anyone at ease out there.
All right, we've just lost two people. We just lost 2 people.
Yeah, so if you want that, the code will. What we're doing with the code, Jay? We'll just give them the code. Just give them the code. The code
is here.
Join the code. Like this video. Tell you what, just to make it, at the end, if we find that you've won and then we find out you're not subscribed to us, you're not winning. So just drop a little subscribe. So then that's fair, I think.
That's fair.
And if one of us wins,
we are spending our hard-earned money.
Yeah, if one of us wins, then you have to buy us a shirt.
All of you have to buy us a shirt.
Everyone chips in £20 and yeah, we'll figure something
That's
out.
a lie. If one of us wins, the other two buy them a shit shirt. It's fine. It's okay. We're going to stop now because this is getting boring for you, for me, for Jay, for Adam. So see you later. Good luck in the shirt hunt. Good luck in the fantasy football. Good luck in the normal football. Tell your dad about the fantasy football league.
Tell your dad about the fantasy football league. That's a mouthful. Alright, welcome back, part 2. We're actually going to give a bit our actual positions. This is the hardest thing to do every season, and we're always wrong, but we're going to do it anyway. And we're going to start with the relegated teams, and in 20th place, I have West Brom.
Why,
Are
Jace?
you
Why? It's one of those. They seem to be like this relegated. Was one of the hardest things to think of. I thought I was looking at the table and looking at the teams, and a lot of teams have done well this summer, and a lot of teams did well last season. And West Brom are just one of the only teams I looked at was like, have you done enough to stay in the Prem? And I just don't think they have.
Mm-hmm. Fair enough.
Yeah, I agree. I've gone for Fulham last because it's a similar situation to what you've just mentioned, Jay. They've not. I mean, I didn't really watch the Championship last season. I doubt any of us did.
No.
But I cannot. That team that came up, I not see it staying in the Premier League at all. I can't really see him coming out of the top 3 all season, to be honest with you. At the bottom 3 all season.
That's a bold prediction for Fulham. Yeah. Josh Onham, a top goal scorer. Beautiful time. Right, well, I've gone for cue some dramatic music, but 20th place, I've gone for Leeds.
Dun dun dun.
And I will tell you why. Because
please do.
I've been keeping an eye on their pre-season because I, for some reason, follow them on Twitter. They've been doing shite. Like Stoke battered them. Someone else battered them. Can't remember who. The issue with Leeds is they might start off with a few games, a bit like Norwich when they beat City. Everyone's like, Bielsa, oh my God, why was he not in the Premier League before? What happens to Leeds every season under Bielsa? Even last season to an extent.
They get tired.
They crumble. And I think the weight of expectation on them returning to the league, Bielsa's incredibly hard-pressing, scary times, and just the fact that they don't have... Rodrigo might be great, I don't know, but, he also might be Trezeguet and not come good at the end of the season because of COVID. Who knows? I just think that there's going to be so much pressure on them, they're going to crack like eggs.
You'd seriously put them lower than Fulham and West Brom?
You see, here's what I've left West Brom out, because for 5 seasons before West Brom got relegated, they brought nothing to the Premier League and didn't deserve to get relegated and didn't deserve to stay up. But every fucking season they did, West Brom's one of those teams that I look at and I'm like, fuck off. And they never do. So I reckon that West Brom's going to piss me off and stay up.
Fair enough. All right, we're at 19. I've got Brighton.
Brighton.
Yeah. Interesting.
Yeah,
Nah.
I think I had them last season. I'm still surprised that they're still up. They seem to be doing a bit similar to what you just said with West Brom prior. They just seem to keep chugging along and staying. No, but they've battled it a couple of times.
They battered us both, Jay, didn't they, this season?
Probably, but we got battered by a lot of weird people this season.
We beat Tottenham 3-0.
Did they, mate? I mean, to be fair, we in pre-season it was a 1-1, but I don't know. I've just put them in there. You know what? Like I said, it was a hard one this season. I really did think it's hard, so I just put Brighton in there. I think they'll get relegated.
I think that's harsh. Just as a quick one, that's one of the big points about Leeds as well. Brighton held on to Ben White and said, "You're not having him." One of the best things about Leeds was Ben White, and Brighton have shipped off Duffy to Celtic, and they've brought in Ben White. He looks class. Duncan White look like a. I would be happy. I think we wouldn't be happy, but that could be a top 6 centre-back partner without raising too many eyebrows.
We were linked with Dunk.
Yeah.
Fair.
So I think they've got enough, but I went for Fulham for that because I just basically what Adam said. I don't think they actually do have enough. You've got Josh Onham in the middle, You've got Mitrovic up top with, he's obviously proven that he can score goals, but will he score enough? It's Fulham.
Fair enough.
Well, I've gone for West Brom, so I've gone Fulham West Brom. Fulham West Brom. Again, same point as before. West Brom are just a meh team to me. They've not signed anyone fantastic. The kit is horrible, so they probably deserve to go down.
You're going down with your kit. Right, in 18th place, the final relegation spot, I've got Villa. I don't like them. I want to see them gone. Easy as that. Adam?
I also put Villa.
Yeah, fair point. I did go for Brighton, funnily enough. But then rethought my answer because they've bought sensibly. I think Lallana will obviously not keep him up single-handedly, but he's one of those players that will play every week and put in a good shift for him. So I did change my answer to Villa.
All of us have got Villa. Fair enough.
And for me with Villa as well, I actually forgot. We're talking a wrong goal line decision that kept them up this season.
Yeah.
So they should have been relegated this season. So maybe if karma is in the world, they'll go down now. Grealish, didn't actually. I don't think Grealish did much to keep them in. Really.
They were a sinking ship and they got lucky.
Yeah. So and then just as a quick disclaimer, and then we'll move on to the top six. Is I hope I'm wrong on one of those, and I hope West Brom do go down. I just think that the footballing gods will not allow me to have that.
I'm the only one of us that didn't put Fulham in the bottom three, and I don't know why.
I want Scott Parker to do well. I really like Scott Parker, but
yeah.
I don't see it.
No, it's tough. Right, so top six. My sixth place is Spurs, and I don't think we have to talk about this much because we did in part one, but yeah, Spurs, sixth place.
I have also got Spurs. I was stuck between Arsenal and Spurs. But I'm sorry, Josh, but I just think Arsenal's team is much stronger than yours this season coming into the new Premier League. You brought sensibly, yeah. But sensible doesn't get you top four, unfortunately.
I am going to agree with you, but only because I think this is a season that I do think we're as good as United and as Arsenal, but I do think with Mourinho here now, we're going to put a much bigger emphasis than Poch ever did on some cup competitions. So I think we'll.
Would you be happy with that?
Absolutely. Fuck it, Adam. We won the Carabao Cup in 2008. All right, it wasn't even the Carabao Cup. It was the fucking Carling Cup. Give me anything. Honestly, the fact that COVID happens means that Tottenham has retained the Audi Cup, and that's already a victory for me. Right. What do you want from me? Yeah, Europa or FA Cup, I'll take bloody 10th. I don't give a shit.
So I feel like we've all got Arsenal in fifth, then, in that case.
I have, yeah.
Josh?
I do, but I'm questioning it.
Oh, so
I'm going to put United in fifth.
Okay. That's all.
And that is only because of like what we've just said. If United, it's difficult because the transfer window is going to run on longer than it normally would anyway. Mm-hmm. So, but at the moment,
October.
Yeah, but it's just one of those things where if I look at Arsenal's team and then United's team just edges it. But then if I look at the 6 players below that aren't in the team, suddenly I'm looking at Arsenal, and this is the season we're talking about. So,
and
I hate to
you know what it is
I'm going to put
as well. Like winning the FA Cup is huge for the players' mentality and the manager mentality. So that's fair enough. Well, I'm guessing then again, Josh, Adam, you've got United in fourth, like I do.
I've got United in first. I've not. They're fourth. I've brought myself back down to reality. We're in fourth.
I've got
again,
Arsenal.
We've spoke about it before, but we've just not improved our squad.
Yeah.
Like we've brought Van der Beek in. I'm very excited to watch him. He's a very good player, very good squad rotation player. It'll work for the team. But that's it. That's all we've brought in so far. If we sign some more players before the window, I can't change my answer, can I? But
No.
so yeah, I'm fourth, unfortunately, and it's sad because I want to be more optimistic than that.
Right. And then in third place, I have Liverpool. For the reasons we mentioned above, I don't think they've strengthened enough. I think they're going to be a bit complacent, and I think they're going to struggle because of that. And I think they're going to be third.
In third place, I also have Liverpool.
Oi! Same reasons.
Just exactly what you said, and not even necessarily just the fact that they haven't strengthened. I just think that unless Frank actually is not a football manager and he's strict as, like, and then if City actually sign centre backs, you know,
do you really think they're going to flop that much?
No, but I'm not talking. We're not. You see, that's the thing here. We're talking about. We're not talking about them being 10th, or we're not talking about them being third, 12 points adrift. I'm thinking this is a proper three-way race this season. And
it's going to be much closer.
Liverpool miss out by 4 points, like from the first place. That's one loss. Like that's all I'm thinking.
But you've got to remember how much they won it by last year. Like,
that is also due to City's incompetence a little bit. How they lost some games they didn't need to lose,
and it's also you've got to remember how big that gap was compared to how big that gap finished.
Yeah,
that's what that's all I'm thinking. And maybe I'm completely wrong. They were so complacent. And so, like, you look at the Atletico game, you look at when they got done by Watford, and I know they're a brilliant team. No one's saying they aren't. I'm just thinking, have they had that proper break to go away and reset? I think they're going to come back still with the mentality of, you know, they've won everything. They've won everything. Mm-hmm. And without strengthening that, with watching Joe Gomez give a stupid penalty away against Iceland, with watching... You know, like I'm sure Trent will kick on. Robertson is someone that is class, but he's a lot older than Trent. Like, you know, he's not going to start declining next season, but there's no one pushing him there really. Mm-hmm. Like Minamino has scored his goal in the Community Shield, yes, but he doesn't really challenge anyone. Firmino wasn't scoring any home goals at all, was he? Until like late on in the season. I know that's not really his job, but by signing Werner, you then have a striker that can score alongside two world-class wingers. The midfield is still the same. One Algen might go to Barcelona, but then again, they might sign Thiago, and this all changes. But as it stands, we can only look at the team as it stands now.
Yeah, that's fair enough. I've gone for Chelsea third. I think this, as good as the players they bought, I think it'll still be a bit of a coming together this season for Chelsea. I think they still need to get used to each other. I know what you've said, that a couple of them played together and they look like they're gelling well, but it's a long season.
Yeah, no, fair enough. Yeah, completely agree.
So I would put them higher than us, much stronger squad than us at the moment, but yeah, I can't see him beating City and Liverpool, to be honest.
See, I've kind of said the exact opposite. I've put Chelsea second, but I kind of picture them being first for most of the season.
Really?
Like, I kind of picture you kind of being ahead, not running away like a Liverpool, but like being maybe you and City can swap places a little bit, but like, and then I can see, and I'm not just slagging him off, but Frank's only had one season at Derby and one season at Chelsea, and you're talking about when he's playing against Pep Guardiola, I can just see a little bit of tactical nous edging you off top spot.
I mean, to be fair, yeah, that's completely seeable. Like, and also, City have that kind of pedigree in winning multiple competitions. Where, you know, at the moment we're still so new and it's a new team and stuff that we don't have that. So, like, we're going to try and contest the FA Cup, the Champions League, whatever, and that might hinder our performance in the league, whereas City just know how to do all of that at once, don't they? So that's why I've got City first, Chelsea second.
Well, yeah, that's exactly what I've got. But just before we hear from Adam, just I've just mentioned about the season there, and you're doing well and then tailing off. I think we'll see that in games for Chelsea. I think you'll come out and you'll blitz teams.
Yeah.
But the issue is we saw last season, and it's the one thing you haven't really improved upon. Well, you have obviously improved upon it, but we saw last season that Chelsea would be a few goals up, but wouldn't really know how to then just kill that game off.
Yeah, definitely. especially after the restart, this was so evident that we were just like, and the FA Cup final, 5 minutes in, we were just smashing them, and then it was like, what do we do now, lads? Yeah, definitely. But, you know, bringing people, that's why I feel like Silva's a good signing, because I don't think he'd allow that.
Which is also why I think Mourinho might do a little bit better than people are thinking, because if there's one man that knows how to just fucking kill a game, the game of football is over now. Just like, it's Mourinho. So yeah, Adam?
I've gone for a City winning the league. Similar point to what you've made about Liverpool finishing third. I think they've not improved the squad enough. I think City have obviously bought Ake, and I don't know if Koulibaly happen, but Ake on his own will tighten that back four. And again, the back end of last season, they looked better than Liverpool, didn't they? I know Liverpool already won the league. They don't have much to play for, but I think Pep has a lot to prove and a lot to answer for as well this season.
Oh, absolutely.
And as opposed to Klopp doesn't really. I don't think Klopp has that fire in his belly this season to go, you know what, we're going to win the league straight after we've won this one. So I think City have the more will, so to speak, to go and win it, and I think they'll do it.
Fair enough, lads. Fair enough. I think we've all got valid points. All our top 6 and bottom 3 are very similar. We'll look back at this at the end of the season and laugh at ourselves. Goal scorer boy again. What top goal scorer boys? Who we got?
It's a hard one, because I was going to put Harry Kane until Josh started talking. Because you're right, there is only one striker at Tottenham, and he will get injured around January, and he will be out for weeks. So, you know what I'm going to put?
Oh, no.
Bruno.
Oh, no. Yeah, because
Bruno,
he'll have
top goal scorer.
he'll have 20
penalties.
pens.
I'm gonna go for it. Why not? Why the fuck not?
Fair enough, mate. Fair enough. I've gone for Aubameyang, because for me, Arsenal are looking good. They're looking sharp, and also he's their like main goal scorer. Like, other than him, you don't see many people scoring for Arsenal. He was contesting for it last season. He won it the season before. Joint won it. I can see him doing it again. Joshua?
I honestly have looked devastated ever since Adam opened his mouth.
I thought he was quiet.
Yeah, he was a bit quiet, wasn't he? I actually checked my phone to see if he was still there.
You're lucky I am. I would not, if it was a completely fit season, you know, it would be Kane. But again, if it was not for the fact that he'll just randomly drop in for Jesus, it would be Aguero.
Yeah.
I'm going to just be a bit different to you both. And if he hits the ground running, I think Timo Werner is a fucking incredible striker.
Timo!
Why not? And even if I'm wrong, and I don't even care if it happens that it is him, that's a better fucking suggestion than Bruno Fernandes.
Timo. I mean, as well, just an honourable mention, I think Sterling last season scored 20 goals, and it doesn't get spoke about enough because that's a lot of goals. And, you know, if City do smash it this season, he's one of the players that does play more games than a lot of other players, so he's a good shout as well.
And Mane. So Sterling and Mane get a shout as well.
Fair enough. First manager to be sacked, boys. I'll go first on this one. I don't want this to happen. I really don't. But I think Scott Parker's going to go first. Only because I think Fulham are dickheads, right? Because they basically told him he would have been sacked if they didn't get promoted anyway.
Yeah.
And to be in an environment like that, if he starts badly, which they might do, it's Fulham, they're just going to get a bit antsy and sack him. So I don't want this to happen. This isn't me going, it's going to be Scott Parker, the prick. I like Scott Parker, but I don't like Fulham, and I don't think they're going to do it. I think they're going to do that, rather.
I think they really started to tail off towards the end of the season. I do like him, but he's been there a while now, and I don't think they're going to kick on from last season. So I think they might axe poor old Roy.
Oh, that'd be a shame. That would be a shame. Love Roy.
I think that might happen. Take them in a bit of a new direction, maybe, because it's getting to that stage now where, you know, if Zaha still hasn't gone and he still doesn't want to play for them. Like, and that might be
and he still scores goals for them.
In old Hodgson's coffin. Honourable mention to Bielsa, but I think Bielsa will be later on in the season because he'll start off well.
I don't think he'll get sacked. You hear about that England player, the Leeds one, he's going to give Bielsa his England shirt. They idolise him there. It's a bit weird.
We idolise Poch, Jay. We still slit his throat and threw him in a river.
True. I wish I saw more of that in that documentary. It's an absolute bollocks, right? Like it is.
Tanganga has had more one-on-one screen time than Poch did.
Exactly. I want to see that moment where Poch writes that note for fucking you. Like it's bollocks, man.
Anyway, go on, Adam.
Sorry, Adam.
I've gone for Bilic.
Oh yeah.
That's fair.
Because I think it's very similar to Fulham. I think if they don't start well, they're going to struggle to get out the bottom three, and they didn't in the Championship. They didn't have the greatest end to the season. I think they won 1 in 5. They drew a lot of games. They wasn't convincing wins in a lot of them. Yeah, they finished second, but they could have easily fell out of it the last few games.
Yeah, definitely.
So, and again, I don't know if they've signed any half decent players. I think they will struggle. So I think he's first to be gone.
I think they're all the most likely picks. Can I just also say that mine's also more likely because there's a genuine chance Roy Hodgson might just die.
Oh, Josh, man.
Does that count?
Come on,
Does
Josh.
it count? Does it count if he dies? Like, am I still right?
You don't need to say that. Poor Roy. Fuck you, Josh. Right, that's it for part 2. We'll come back for part 3. We'll preview some actual games of football in the Premier League. I'm excited for that.
Rolling. Cool. Alright, cool. So we're just going to do some predictions now on the games. I'm going to go first because my camera is looking like it's going to die. It's Tottenham Everton, and Everton look scary. They've got Allen. They've got fucking James Rodriguez. How's that happened? They've obviously got firepower with Richarlison and Calvert-Lewin. I'm just hoping that Tottenham, which is a bit more of a settled squad with only a few pieces added, can just quickly take that first game away from them. That they haven't gelled. Rodriguez, they're a bit confused still at what they are. I think Everton, and hopefully we can just quickly beat them, and then Everton might. Yeah. Then I think they will work out a lot more than previous seasons who they are as a team. My big prediction for this season is that Everton will still be average, but this will be the first season they actually get a win against Liverpool in like 10 years, which might be a big deal for them.
I'll be tuning in for that game, definitely.
Yeah.
I think this game will be one of the best of the weekend, to be honest. I think Everton's, like you said, transfer stuff, they might be coming out all guns blazing. Ancelotti's a very good manager. You've got a respectable team with a bunch of good players. I think it might be the best game this weekend. Yeah,
but I do think that with a fully fit, one of them won't play in terms of wingers, but Moura, Bergwijn, Son, Kane. I don't care if you've got James Rodriguez, who's scored 4 goals in 2 seasons. We're going to beat you. And I'm going to say it's going to be 3-1.
Adam, you got anything to add?
Not really. I don't really care for the game, but I think it'll be a good battle, like a top 6 battle. I think we didn't speak about Everton before, really, but they've bought these great players. Doucouré's a great signing for him as well.
That hasn't gone through yet, has it?
Which happened. I'm pretty sure it has. It's on the Premier League website, yeah.
Huh. Mad.
Missed that one.
Yeah, there he is. I can see him in the Everton shirt.
Oh, okay, fair enough.
A great signing. Again, will they gel? We said, we've got to remember, last season we said they would finish top 4. Most of us did.
Well,
and look what happened.
Yeah, but then I've learnt my lesson now. They could sign Messi and Ronaldo. They're still Everton, and to their core, they'll just fuck it. Soz this Everton.
Is the point I was going to make. It's Tottenham are a much better team from him. So I'll go for a Tottenham win. I'll go 2-1. 2-1 Tottenham I'm going to go for.
I see a 3-2 happening. Let's go. Right. Leeds Liverpool, boys. It's one of the biggest games first. I think we're giving a lot of credit to Leeds calling it a big game, but it's an interesting one. I think the last time they played them was like 16 years ago. There's something there in there. I'm going to watch this game.
Yeah, well, it's a difficult one for me because it's the two teams I hate most in the world. So to me, it's not a big game, but it's an interesting game. I would like to see a 0-0 draw. You know what? Fuck it. Leeds can win. I don't care.
Brilliant.
I
2-1
think
Leeds.
this could be one of those moments where Leeds come out the firing line, like kill Liverpool this game with like an easy 2-0 win. And everyone's like, Leeds are mad, they're back, blah blah blah, and then they'll just deteriorate towards the end. But to be fair, I'll still like to see Leeds beat Liverpool.
I'm not sure what come out of the firing line means in terms of that analogy, but I like it. I think. Sorry,
listen, we said this earlier. English isn't my first language.
I think this has all the hallmarks of Leeds again rushing out, scoring first, maybe scoring twice, but towards the end of the game, Liverpool have scored 3 or 4, and Leeds are going, okay, this is going to be harder than we think.
Yeah, fair enough. Any score predictions, boys? I think I'm going to go for like a 2-0 Leeds, just a simple one.
I think I'm going to go for 2-1 Liverpool.
I'll 2-1 Leeds. I'm going to go for.
My
nice.
God, look at fucking Liverpool, the underdogs in that one. How's that happened?
Good on you, Liverpool. We're not mentioning the United game because it's been postponed, so is the City game. And then the final game, biggish game to talk about is Chelsea-Brighton, and I'm very, very, very excited for this because I get to see some of the new boys play. We should beat Brighton, but like I said earlier, we drew to them in the pre-season, but that was like, in the second half, we had like 10 kids out on the pitch, so I don't know, I feel like this has got like, this game, it's a good first game for us to have. Last season we had United first, and they just crushed us 4-0, and it was like, oh shit. And it was like, it's just like you couldn't grab momentum straight away, and I think obviously the first game is a good game to grab momentum, so I'm happy we got Brighton. I think Timo can get a goal in this easily.
Yeah, I can agree with everything you're saying.
But
so I'm going to go for 1-0 Brighton.
I think Chelsea will win, but I do think Chelsea are going to come up against a very, very stubborn and very, very good defence. It might not gel straight away because Ben White's just come in, and they might just play Webster or something. But look at how many teams they shithoused last season, like Arsenal, Tottenham. I'm pretty sure they did it to you. Like, if your team isn't quite gelling and you're getting a few misplaced passes, all it takes is Dunk to then ping it over to Mapai and hit you on the counter. I still think Chelsea will win 2-0, let's say, but I'm just saying there is a genuine worry there.
Yeah, I mean it's no walk in the park. I don't mean to sound like that. It's a good time to gel though, because we're not going up against like a Liverpool or a City or anything. It's a good first game to get in because we haven't had a pre-season. I'm gonna just be gassed for it and say 3-1 because our defence are shaky. Every prediction this season, you'll probably hear me give one goal to the other team at least, just because of how we are. But yeah, 3-1 up the boys. Timo hat-trick or something.
Are we done?
Yeah, I think we've done
That's
it.
excellent, because I am desperate for a wee.
Well, I've really enjoyed this, boys. It's been a good podcast. Season 3 is back up and running.
Do it!
It has. It's been good, and let's have another year, and let's hope it is just a bloody season this time around. Let's hope that COVID can just chill out. We can just not have a season that lasts longer than a year, and that's also something we didn't really mention to all these predictions. Like, the players are going to be tired. They've had. Oh, my camera! My camera's just gone off, but the players have not had. The bloody winter break was almost a longer break than what some teams have had in terms of having to play in finals and then semi-finals and community shields and Europa League qualify.
Yeah.
It's going to be interesting, and we're going to see a lot of injuries, and it's going to, we're going to see a lot of strange players coming into squads. I think this season it's going to be good.
Lot of academy players that we're going to look forward to, and we're going to be there the whole bloody season. Season 3 is here.
Most of
right.
it. Right, I need a
Tell
wee.
your dads
Tell your dad.
about
Goodbye.
Season 3.
Bye bye.
Bye.
Come on,